Hello and welcome, my friends. Welcome to another interesting episode where I review vintage writing instruments. Today I have for you some really nice beauties from Italy. They were made between the 1920s and the 1940s. And I have for you these three beautiful ornated writing instruments. What is interesting is the fact that I got this for a steal, probably the most beautiful ornated of them. It was part of a lot of fountain pens, and I think that I paid only for this around 10 euros. So an unbelievable price, 10 euros or around 15 American dollars. Those I bought as a set. Although they are not a set, they were sold by the same seller, and I paid for them around 120 euros. So around 140 American dollars. Maybe I overpaid for them, but I think they are quite nice, quite old, and why not quite rare. Let me put them aside. And I want to start with this beautiful ornated piece. Well, every fountain pen collector knows that the Italians were quite renowned for their beautiful luxury writing instruments from the 1920s, the 1930s, and the 1940s. Of course, most of them were based on Watermans produced in America, but they also did some really nice works like this one. Well, this particular model has an engraving right over here at the end of the cap. So we have a Rexing pan engraved right over there. Well, this is a beautiful ornated writing instrument. You will see that it has some plastic part here made out of celluloid, and we have this octagonal layer of metal, gold plated, I believe 18 karat gold plated, quite nice engraved with those patterns. What can I tell you about the Rexing Pen company? Rexing Pen is one of the many minor Italian brands that was active in the Italian market between the late 1930s and the 1940s, and they produced both safeties and bottle fillers, usually in celluloid. This beautiful work, you can see it's made in metal, and of course it reminds us of the models from Waterman, especially Waterman 52 and other were beautifully engraved Watermans, but they were also minor models like the Europe and which were quite similar. Well, guys, maybe you are wondering why did I paid only 10 euros for this model. Well, you will see when I will open the cap, guys. Look at it. It lacks the original gold nib. And it was a puzzle for me when I opened it, because indeed I was expecting a fountain pen. Judging by the way it ends, it should be a button filler, but this part is stuck, so I can't show you the end of the button filler. Remember, they also produce safeties, but the safety one you will see in the next example. This is a safety, has a much more longer ending than a button filler. But somewhere during its existence, this instrument was deprived of the feeder and the nib, and it was replaced by this. It was quite a puzzle for me, but you will see that this actually writes. It's like a giant, oversized graphite mine, and you can see the difference in colors between the point of it and the other side. So, somewhere during its existence, this beautiful fountain pen was cannibalized for its gold nib, and someone did a bad job, and I think they've ruined also the feeder. But it was such a beautiful piece, and especially the cap, guys. So you can see this beautiful ornated cap, and especially the clip, and also the top of it. So someone said, look, this is quite a beautiful writing instrument, at least the body of it. Let me repurpose it. So this is a beautiful Italian pen. I'm not so sure about its history. If only this writing instrument could talk and tell us its stories. A beautiful Italian piece. Now we move on to the next beautiful Italian piece. Unfortunate, I don't know the manufacturer of this. The only clue engraved on it, we have 18KR. When I bought this, the seller thought that this was a full gold body fountain pen made out of solid 18 karat gold. But guys, when you see 18K point R, this is the sign that it was produced in Italy, and the sign that it was all gold plated with 18 karat gold nib. This model has this little ring at the top of the cap, which means it was a ladies model, although it's quite large for a ladies model. You can see this previous model looks to me more like a ladies model, although it's quite fat, this octagonal form. This time we have a cylindrical form. We have some nice rings which are engraved, but not detailed work like the Rexing before. So we have two rings here on the cap and two rings here, one at the top of the barrel and one at the other side of the barrel. Well guys, this particular fountain pen is called a safety fountain pen. And why is that? If we unscrew the cap, we don't see the nib. So where is the nib? Well, the nib appears by turning this rod over here like this, and it gently appears, guys. So it retracts like this, and if you rotate the other part, it shows. So the reason for this is when you are finished writing with it, you leave it like this. Of course, it is rounded and it will fall from your desk, but at least when it falls, it won't fall like this. So you had to have your habit of, after using it, retracting the nib. This was the purpose, and this was the safety feature that this writing instrument had. Usually these beauties were fitted with a gold nib, but you can see that this one is not fitted with a gold nib. Let me show it to you. So we have this steel nib. It has some engravings on it, but I'm not so sure what it writes. Maybe this is a replacement nib. You can see that it is quite a small nib, and who knows, maybe it was the original nib of this fountain pen. It was never replaced, but usually the safeties had gold nibs. So this is why I told you that I think I was wrong when I paid around 120 euros for it, or 140 American dollars. But I paid for this one and for this interesting mechanical pencil. You can see that it was not a set because we have different patterns on this one. At one point in its life, it suffered repair here at the clip. The ending is quite beautiful in a flower. And this is a mechanical pencil, guys. I think that this for sure is celluloid. So again, a model from the 1940s or the end of the 1930s. It has this feature here. I'm not so good at disassembling old mechanical pencils, but I think it also can be taken apart from here. Well, I'm not so sure about the system of what type of graphite mine it uses, but I bought it for its beautiful pattern. So guys, those are nice, interesting, beautiful looking Italian pieces dating from, I think, from the 30s and the 1940s. They have this material celluloid, and the celluloid material was introduced in Europe after the late 1920s, so 1929, 1930, especially made in Italy, so even in 1933 or 35. So I will definitely leave the dimensions of all the three writing instruments on the screen. And why not? Let me compare them, as you know, with Mont Blanc 146. I will put them side by side like this for you to have an idea of their crude dimensions. So these are the writing instruments. The slimmest is, of course, the mechanical pencil. Next we have this cylindrical safety, but this one is quite a match for the Mont Blanc, in the sense that it is quite fat as the Mont Blanc, having this orthogonal pattern, which I simply love. Okay guys, so again I will put back the Mont Blanc, and I will leave the dimension of the writing instruments on the screen. And in the meantime, I will also change the angle of the camera, guys, because I want to show you how they perform at writing. Of course, guys, I'm sorry for this. Okay, I have here the classical note from Inia, and I don't have a mine with this, but this writes like a mechanical pencil, judging by the way. Oh look, I have something here. Oh guys, this is a treat, this is a surprise. So this had a mine. I just had to turn this and it left. So now I can show you how it writes. So this is a mechanical, but I'm not so sure. This graphite mine seems to well guys, this is quite strange. I'm not so sure that we have here a graphite mine, but some other metallic part. Look at it. It's certainly so this is a puzzle. It's definitely a metal part. I'm sorry for this, guys, but I won't be able to show you how this writes. Again, I have to do my homework on mechanical pencils. They are quite complicated in my point of view. Of course, also the fountain pens are, but this is a mechanical pencil, I can assure you. I'm not so sure of its graphite mine. Now let me show you this novelty item, and it's big great graphite mine. So you can write with it like this. Let me write to you Rexing pen. So Rexing pen. So a giant pencil. Okay, so this is how it writes. Let me see if we can post it. Not okay, it posts, but not a great fit. Rexing pen. Okay, and now the only writing sample that we will see here. I will use it as a dip pen, guys. And why not? Let me take out some interesting ink from here. Let me use this Faber Castell pink ink. Quite nice looking ink. It is dark here because in time it was contaminated with some blue ink, and you can see that the pink changed the color from a light pink to a purple one, to a purple color. I will show it to you. So here it is. Here it's the pink. I will give it a little shake and I will open the bottle. I will insert this inside of it, not so much but sufficient to the feed to be filled with that ink. Now carefully I will use it like this, and I will say that this is an Italian safety pen. It has interesting steel nib. This is a steel nib. It scratches a little bit. I'm sorry for this, guys. I'm curious to see if, whoa, this is a flexible nib. Look at it. Look about this flex. Whoa. It's quite strange. So this is why it scratches a little bit, because we have a flexible nib. It certainly needs a little bit of ink, and I will dip it again. So this is a flexible ink, flex ink. Oh, sorry, a flexible nib. Okay, let me see if we have some line variance. It writes quite no line variance, but a flexible one that tines move, as you can see. Look at it. So nice, interesting nib, guys. Let me see if we can reverse write with this nib. Reverse writing. Yes, it appears that it loses its ink flow, but it is because we are dipping the fountain pen. In fact, it is quite a juicy nib, as you can see here. And also, I think, good for signatures. Yes, although it scratches, so that scratches from the tines. Okay, reverse writing and signature. You can see, guys, that, let me show you. On flexible nibs, sometimes the tines overlap each other. So I hope you can see. And another bad thing about this, you can see that one of the tines has suffered a little bit of a damage. I'm not so sure it is an oblique flexible nib, but you can see the tines, they are not equal at the end. I will try to write something with it, guys, to see if it performs relatively good at writing. So I will tell you about the fox. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. What can I say to you, guys? It is a quite interesting nib. It certainly is a broad nib in my opinion, but an interesting broad with some flexing capabilities. So guys, this was my review of the three beautiful Italian pieces from the 1930s. As always, I want to wish you to have a nice day wherever you are, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed this. Although they are not perfect by any means, those writing instruments are quite interesting, and they are a part of the fountain pen industry in Europe, and especially those beautiful craftsmanship in Italy back in those days. So guys, thank you for watching this small, let's say, review of some let's call them Franken writing instruments, because they don't have all their original parts, but quite nice and beautiful writing instruments. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you did enjoy this review and you want to support my activity, please subscribe to my channel. I will see you again tomorrow with a new and exciting episode. Till then, bye bye and God bless.